Welcome to Double TV with the Sony Xperia Z Ultra smartphone, which is actually also called a phablet, and that's because we have a 6.4-inch Full HD display. It's a huge device, you can see it here compared to my hand size already, and also we have here a waterproof device, so we have also some water here in the background, as you can see in a German beer keg. We have a beautiful 8-megapixel camera in the back with no flashlight. Don't ask me why Sony didn't put one in here, but they probably don't think of this device as a professional camera phone. That's why we don't even have a dedicated camera button, which is usually a standard from Sony, but otherwise we still have a volume control here, an on and off switch, micro SD slot, and micro SIM card slot. So you can see here the micro SD would go right in there, and the micro SIM has a slot space right here. So all you have to do is take this little plastic thingy out, put the SIM card in and slide it back in again. And most of the ports are behind this kind of flap, since it's a waterproof phone. And there's this white little thing here that will show us also if some water went inside the device. Let me just close this up so we can later on do a waterproof test. Now the headphones don't need to be behind the little flap anymore. That's quite nice by Sony, because this is one of the devices I would love to use, and I actually used it a lot for watching movies. Otherwise, here on top we have a microphone. On this side there's a micro USB port for, of course, charging and connecting it to your computer. We have 16 gigs of internal memory, from which you can use 11 or 12 gigs. But there's, of course, as we were able to see, the micro SD for expansion. So you can have about 80 gigs internally. Then we have here a docking station for charging it, because you don't usually want to open this up every day or every second day. And what's quite nice about it is that we have the exact same charger here for the Sony Xperia Z1. So Sony is trying to build a standard here for their waterproof phones. Otherwise, here on the bottom there's nothing except for, of course, here another microphone for using it, of course, for standard calling. And we have here a little place where we can put on a strap or anything to have it dangling around our neck or our hand. Now what I just saw here on the bottom is that the color is a little bit coming off. This is available in actually 3 colors: white, black, and this purple color. But it's actually kind of durable. On the back and on the front we have some glass. On the front it should be mineral glass, so this is really quite strong, and I will show in a second why this needs to be strong. But on the back I already see here also some scratches, even though I haven't been using it that much. But you can also see NFC is right here on the bottom for connecting Bluetooth devices or other devices quite easily. With 6.5 millimeters thinness, it's one of the slimmest smartphones out there, especially with 212 grams and 3000 milliamps. And this is actually quite nice. The sizes are otherwise 179 millimeters in height and 92 millimeters in width. Now here we have the 2 speakers also on the front, which give out really great sound, and we have the 2-megapixel camera right here, some light sensors right there, and there should be also a status LED, I think, right here at the speakers, like it is with the Sony Xperia Z1, which I can just put right here on front. On the front, so you can see 5-inch compared to 6.4-inch is about this in size. But one of the main competitors should be this here HTC with the HTC One Max, where you can see here that we have also still a bigger device, and of course also a bigger screen here with the Sony. But in thinness or in thickness, the Sony is of course slimmer, and it's faster because it has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 inside. So unlocking the device, you can see that we have a beautiful, huge screen, which is not that easy to use with one hand, but you can actually use it since you usually I have usually 2 hands free, but you could even type with one hand. But what's nice about the device is you can use any stylus, or you don't even need a stylus. You can just use anything that has a metal tip, like for example here this pen or pencil, or just this biro here. So you can see this is quite easy to use also here with just a pen or a pencil. Now this is also quite handy since we have a sketch program on here. I will show you in a second, and otherwise here you can also see that we have already new note and new sketch right on top of here, since it has recognized that we're using it with a pen right now. But you have also all your extra programs right here on the bottom. Like for example, you can do a quick screenshot always quite easily. You can open up here a little browser window. So this is of course also great for multitasking. I can just type in, for example, a German website here. And then on the other, I can open another something here, as you can see, to have a note. And then I can just have notes, and on the back, maybe in the background, there will be Hangouts or anything like that open. So this is quite handy for multitasking. But what you can do is actually just say, yeah, you can actually just drag it here on the side, and then you have the icon right here with the app where you can just minimize it quite easily. And this is really handy, but you can't open one app more than once, as you can see here. It's only available once, so you can't do multi-window browsing, for example, just multi-tabbed browsing. So of course watching movies is also quite great. If I open up, for example, here some low light video I did here with the phone, you can see that of course the digital zoom has with 12 times not the best quality, but even in low light, for example here a phone booth, you can see quite clearly, and it doesn't have a flash, but still in low light with no flash, the picture quality of the video is quite good. You can see this footage actually in original form up on my YouTube channel, so you should check out Endeavor TV for that. But watching a regular movie here, for example Breaking Bad, let me just resume, it's also of course amazing to just watch any series or movies here on the device. You have borderless viewing capabilities here if you would want that, and you can really just browse through your content, and it looks quite amazing, especially since it's a full HD screen. But I'm usually not watching any full HD movies on here, since of course those are quite big in size. Let me actually close this one up here, it's kind of annoying me. Let's check out that camera I was telling you about. You can see already the front camera with 2 megapixels looking quite good. Low light not that great. You can see my face quite clearly, it's a little bit dark, but otherwise of course it's totally enough for Skyping. If you switch to the front camera, you can already see here how beautiful the pictures could be when we shoot them. And the display is just amazing to shoot anything, since it's so big and gives us a lot of space and space for creativity also. What else? Of course, we can just go into the apps, where I can show you guys that we have mainly actually Google apps inside. There's some apps by Sony, like for example Video Unlimited. The alarm clock looks quite nice, as you will see in a second when I show you. We have Track ID, which is kind of like Shazam. You can just check out what song is playing right now. Smart Connect. If you connect a headphone, for example, it could automatically start the MP3 player, the device. So it's a little bit of a smart thing right there. Then we have here, as I said, some customized apps, but not that thrilling. If you go on to the next page, I've installed some things like Tempo Run, the MX Player, but otherwise we have Notes and Sketch on here. Notes not that thrilling, but we have Sketch, where let me just go back here to the front page and start a new sketch, where I can just start to dribble. I can write something like Endeavor TV. Okay, ran out of space there, but I can also say, okay, I want to do a little bit more of calligraphy. Let's do it in purple. And then I can do, I don't know, the New York Times. So as you can see, this looks quite awesome. There's some options here, like this rainbow thingy there also. So you can just really have quite cool effects here. You can draw over everything, and you can of course also just say you want to do this, but you can also always go back all the steps, which is quite awesome here if you just made a mistake. So this is really quite handy, and you can of course also just do, oops, I'm in this mode, let's just do here, do do of course here a little funny face, and then we have some extra things here built in, like for example I can just take this pig nose here, do with multi-touch a little bit smaller, and now my smiley has a pig face, and I can say it should go behind the layer or in front of the layer, and yeah, I can just hit done and then it's right here, and I can't move it around anymore, but I can draw over it. So this is quite handy, nice little fun tool to do, and there's really amazing pictures I've already seen on the net that were made actually with the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, so you should check it out. There is really some pictures going on, and you can also just take a photo or add a picture and then change those here. Otherwise we can in the background just give us a little bit of help here with lines. We can make the lines a little bit more clear, darker and lighter, and we can also change here the colors here for the background if we like any color better than just a plain white. So you can see there's quite a few options here to draw. You can of course share, clear canvas, discard sketch, and set it as a wallpaper. And actually I want to show you something amazing a friend of mine has done here. That's a car he did in about 2 minutes just by drawing here with a little pen. This was actually quite amazing to look at, but yeah, he's majoring in industrial design, so that shouldn't be a problem for him. And yeah, that's actually it from the main features here of the Sony Xperia Z Ultra. I can show now you a little bit of gaming and size comparison maybe. Also with an LG G2, which has the same processor inside, same battery size, but it's a little bit smaller, 5.2 inches, one of the smallest big screen devices out there right now. Also a nice size, of course, the Z1, I already showed you guys that, I think. I have to still put it underwater. Then compared to an Apple iPhone 5 or 5S, 4-inch against 6.4-inch, of course, quite a size difference. One of the most sold devices this year is Samsung Galaxy S4, 5-inch, 6.4-inch again. Then we have the Sony ZL, Xperia ZL, one of my favorites, also 5-inch, a small device. But there's also here a 7-inch tablet, which is also a phone, the phone pad by Asus. Now you can see there's not much of a difference. Let me go a little bit more back. In height, but in width there is quite a difference. So this could be still said that it's a small device, but maybe not perfect for the pocket. If you put it in your jeans pocket, the camera will stick out, but otherwise still up here. It usually should be hidden, but it's not that great to sit down. So let's just play a few seconds here and then put it underwater to show you guys that it is of course also working underwater. So let me just jump here, right, this, and yeah, you can see of course it's quite awesome to game on this device, but maybe not the perfect thing if you want a really big battery life, since the 3000 milliamps here on the just 6.5 millimeter device is of course quite not little, but it's again for getting through the day, but not if you would game too much. So let me just get out of here and put it inside the water, and damn, it doesn't fit. So I'm a little bit prepared here, and I just brought a bowl of water. It's not see-through, but you can believe me, this is of course water in here. And I have the camera running right now. I hope I closed up all the ports, and you can see I can just do this now. Nothing will happen, the camera is still running. You can put it in water like that, or the other way around. It doesn't matter, but when it's getting wet, the buttons can be pressed by themselves, since water of course also, like a finger, it can actually hit the button, so it's not perfect for actually shooting pictures underwater, but doing a video underwater, just pressing the record button before you go underwater should be actually fine, as long as you don't press around the display. So you can see it's wet now, and it's actually still working. I could be zooming in or out and yeah, there is no damage at all here to the Sony Xperia Z Ultra. So this was the full review. Thank you very much guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Endeavor TV. Until next time, please and again.